So we're now getting into the digital art track. The digital art track is related to illustration as well. Most of the skills that they're going to use are within the illustration. I mean, you see the digital illustration, but at the digital drawing and digital painting classes are a place where you can take a lot of those illustration and fine art schools, and we can start using the digital mediums of Photoshop and learning how to navigate the program of Photoshop and basically tie together these different skills of digital drawing, intermediate, and advanced digital illustration, entertainment design, and graphic design. So beginner and intermediate. This is where we're going to start learning how to do basic navigation of the program if you do not know how to do that. If there was also layer-based systems, how to approach the program itself, how it functions, the best practices on generating what you're going to do, what layer should go in and how to approach it and how to get through that different step-by-step process. Things are going to be used in like landscape, character design. A lot of the things that we've seen before come into this, and it's how the program itself functions. So people that have no experience with Photoshop can definitely step in and learn a lot of these intro skills that can sometimes be very intimidating when you're trying to absorb this very complex program of Photoshop. So they'll use characters, they use landscapes, and they use both representational and cartooning skills to teach this. And it's about really getting into the nuts and bolts of how the program works, how to navigate it. What are the best, as I said earlier, what are the best practices? The beginner intermediate leads right into intermediate and advanced. So this is where they take those skills and they execute much more complicated things. They'll use representational work, fine art work, character design. You'll see everything from realism to cartooning, and it's how to really get even further and deeper into the detail level that Photoshop is capable of. That simple program that you learn in the beginning is what layers go where, different brushes, all of the different effects. If we could zoom in on all these things, you're going to see really complicated things from Maya-based programs of 3D modeling to illustration, fine art looking things to portraiture, landscape. So this class has basically a little bit of everything that we've been dealing with the foundational skills, and it's how to use digital to create those aspects of it. These two classes are in tandem with each other, the beginner and intermediate, advanced. By the end of it, you'll be ready to approach much more complicated things with digital art in general. So illustration, advanced digital illustration. This is where it really gets pushed into the next level of things. You see much heavier textures in some of them, better lighting effects and environments, storytelling. So it's taking all of those skills and pushing them to that last just level of what we can do with it. So we add some really great lighting effects, really great details in that alien in the left corner. So there's a lot to kind of unpack in digital. And so that's why it's broken into so many different steps. And it's just how it functions. So it's just a continual escalation of how the program functions and what it's capable of. And with some really great teachers that are attached to these programs in our school as well. And you can see the variety of different styles start coming in together, how they approach it, and rendering these forms at the same time. So it's also the illustration, the storytelling, character design, all kind of comes to play at the same time as we go forward. Another school to take this from illustration is instead to go towards entertainment design. This is a portfolio-based class. Entertainment design is, as it sounds, it's basically the blueprints down to complex drawings for pretty much anything we imbibe in entertainment. Entertainment designers work in film, television, animation, video games. A lot of times in the beginning, they're the person that envisions what's happening and how it's going to be structured. And this is how they approach it using digital art. They will have intense ways of dealing with story, thumbnailing, as well as much more complex paintings, as we see here in the example. Character design, it hits everything. So every single thing that we've seen up to this point from illustration, character design, perspective, the digital painting classes. It all comes together in a very kind of crystallized form of communicating these different ways of, you know, entertainment film. How does a set look? What does this character specifically look like? How are we going to animate that boat? You know, and this is where entertainment designers do everything. They have to be kind of a jack of all trades, and it's a very, very, very big skill set for an entertainment designer in general. So they have to be good at figure, they have to be good at environment, they have to be good at vehicle, and they have to be able to tie it all together. So this is basically the best practices and approaches in doing that, as well as learning different portfolios that and how to put them together, how to show that portfolio. What kind of things are they looking for in portfolios as you go forward into entertainment design itself? So. So we're going to talk about the introduction to graphic design. So graphic design is a whole other animal. We're going to be using digital art with it, of course. You don't have to know how to navigate the program to get into it. So you definitely need to take that first digital drawing, beginner, intermediate, or be able to execute within Photoshop to get through this effectively. Graphic design is much more about using art as a language. It's about clarity of communication. It's about your visuals working in tandem with words, creating different things like posters, logos, infographics. And the main thing with graphic design is usually simple enough that a person can absorb it quickly and clearly. So, as I said, it's language. A lot of color theory, a lot of typeset and how to compositionally balance both text and imagery. A lot of simplification into logos, or a lot of also just how to communicate information effectively and quickly. There's a lot of examples of graphic design around us in the world constantly. We're flooded with it, from everything from, as I said, infographics, and which are like the maps at amusement parks, to signs, every sign you see, from stop signs to logos to typeset to everything we're looking at all the time is touched by a graphic designer in some way. So it's going to be really kind of exploring how they approach things, how they want to communicate these issues as they go forward. It'll be using the digital art, which is the tool of choice for graphic designers at this moment. And yeah, really good, strong class, a lot of different things to approach, very big topic condensed into a very small place so you can really understand it.